poprzednim odcinku.
Serce się trochę giba, jak Davy Jones w Piratach z Karaibów, nie? Captain Jack Sparrow. Jest tu gdzieś latarka, czy coś? O kurde. Moi drodzy, kontynuujemy naszą przygodę w Autopsy Simulator, który od dzisiaj będzie pojawiał się codziennie. Wydaje mi się, że w 5 odcinków powinniśmy się z całością tej wyjątkowej historii uwinąć. Mam więc nadzieję, że przywitacie ten odcinek kciukiem w górę i dacie mi znać.
Oh yeah, I should take my pills.
Czy chcecie już jutro kolejny? Boli tylko fakt, że nadal nie jest czcionka poprawiona, że nadal jakby font jest bardzo, bardzo mały. Te kilka dni po premierze, a szkoda. Liczyłem, że wystarczy, żeby jakby ogarnąć.
I feel like it takes me forever to finish these things. That's enough. It will never look clean. I need to quickly change and finish getting ready.
Przebierz się. No dobra. To stru.
I'm gonna be late for work again.
Nie mogę wybrać outfitu?
Got my keys, got my files. Check.
No i dobra.
Time to go. Remember to close the door properly, Jack. I'll ask the neighbors tomorrow if they saw anything suspicious.
Dobra.
I wonder if Ridley fixed the coffee machine.
Teraz się dowiemy. Wolniej wsiadać do windy, bo nigdy nie wiadomo, czy nie będzie tam czegoś, wiecie, dziwnego. A tak łatwiej będzie się wydostać. Mogę to otwierać? No niby mogę. Niby mogę, ale nic to nie da, okej. Dobra. Otwieraj. Sru.
Maybe a bit optimistic. I'd better grab a coffee on the way.
Trochę źle to przetłumaczyli, zdaje mi się. Może się mylę, ale wydaje mi się, że źle.
I'm exhausted.
No i dobra.
I wonder who Stephen brought in today. Good morning, Mr. Ridley. No, he's not here yet? No, I'll do without him.
Pchnij wózek z ciałem. A ten śmiech nas nie interesuje? W ogóle?
Almost there. Now for the tough part. The body needs to be moved. Where's Ridley when you need him? All right. I just need some gloves and my apron.
Wow.
Then I can get to work. I'm going to need my tape recorder for this. Autopsy dated November 22nd, 1991. 7:32 p.m. Led by Dr. Jack Hanman. I begin by verifying the identity of the Jane Doe. It's most likely Harper Lloyd, age 35, found in a well-owned house by her neighbors Leonard and Dorothy Chelsea, reported missing for a week. Firefighters found the body after the Chelsea family began complaining that their tap water tasted strange, and at one point had begun to smell and turn a dark color. It is also known that the deceased was diagnosed with affective bipolar disorder. Harper was placed on drug therapy, which she dropped out of fairly regularly. During her treatment, she was under the care of her common-law partner, Richard Benson, professional truck driver. Police records also show that Mrs. Lloyd was in constant conflict with her neighbors. The constant parties and subsequent brawls made living in the area nearly impossible, especially when Lloyd's partner wasn't around. The last person who had contact with the deceased was her partner. Harper's last message read as follows: "I'm gonna take a shit in their stupid well. Then we'll see who has the last laugh." Nice one. I proceed to open the bag. And the most important task in forensic identification of a drowned person is to distinguish whether the death occurred before or after entering the water. Okay, that could have been worse. I carefully removed the victim's clothes so as not to damage the skin.
Czyli chciała nasrać sąsiadom do studni, ale umarła w trakcie. Okej.
The deceased was found
Oh,
shoes
Jesus.
missing. I'm going to need the camera to document all possible suspicious marks.
Ja pierdzielę.
Definitely the first thing that stands out is the very advanced post-mortem gigantism. The skin of the deceased appears very delicate, smooth, and relaxed from being in the water for a long time. The whole body is extremely pale. It's likely that the deceased was lying on her back when she was fished out. There are bruises and hemorrhages on the neck. These usually occur due to increased inhalation when fighting to breathe underwater. Post-mortem markings are seen on the underside of the body, that is, on the back, thighs, and calves of the deceased. The so-called washerwoman's skin on the feet. The deceased had indeed been in the water for a long time. The skin on the hands can be easily separated from the body. The separation takes the form of a glove. There are some obvious scratches on the skin.
Aligator w kanałach ją dorwał. Jak nic.
So, after the preliminary exam, it's time to take a closer look at this. Scalpel, scissors, today's date. The deceased was clothed. Rigor mortis does not need to be checked. Based on the state of decay, you can be sure it has subsided.
Okej, więc tak. Przybornik, lupa i ogarniamy ranę.
Where to start? We see thick white foam in the mouth of the deceased, resulting from pulmonary edema. Foam is a characteristic in deaths due to drowning. The spots have a purplish blue-red hue, which is a typical sign of the death of the organism. Yep, pretty typical. Livor mortis are formed as a result of putrefaction of blood in the veins. No obvious signs of struggle. The skin on the hands would have easily peeled away from the flesh. Some of the fingers have already lost their nails. Due to the fact that the deceased was wearing shoes all the time, her feet are in better condition than her hands. Nevertheless, we can still notice a clear, wavy skin and the so-called washerwoman's skin texture. There are obvious scratches on the skin, especially on the back and hands. These could be defensive wounds, evidence of some sort of altercation prior to death. Okay, that's probably enough to indicate a direction for further examination.
Dobra.
I'd better note that down in the records. Marks found on the neck and foaming at the mouth are typical signs of drowning people. Those abrasions appear relatively fresh. No healing or scarring is visible. There doesn't seem to be anything unusual about this livor mortis. Hands heavily wrinkled from submersion in water, typical washerwoman's skin. Considering the deceased's penchant for drinking alcohol, it could have been a mere accident. Diffuse spots are caused by blood rotting in the veins.
No dobra, potencjalne... brak oznak zatrucia.
Fortunately, the skin on the hands didn't fall off. Otherwise, I'd have trouble identifying the deceased. A simple trip, loss of balance, and as a result, you end up in a deep hole with no way out. Liver mortis of a different color could indicate poisoning with carbon monoxide, cyanides, or nitrates. However, this is not the case here. Their distribution suggests that the victim was probably lying on her back when fished out of the water. Maybe it's just abrasion, or maybe the result of a fight and being pushed into a well. In this case, the question is, was drowning an accident or of suicidal intent? That's all for now. Before I begin the dissection, I'll make sure the suggested identity is correct. The suitcase with the fingerprint equipment should be around here somewhere.
Tak, jeszcze tego nie robiliśmy. Ale numer.
Oh, here it is. With decomposing bodies, the tissue of the pads of the finger. If the body of the deceased is well preserved, fingerprinting is similar to that of a living person. The fingerprint sheet should always be checked. Slipping fingers, too much or too little ink, or inaccurate hand position can make fingerprints illegible.
Okej. To coś nowego.
I'm going to conduct a dactyloscopic examination. If in fact the deceased is in the police database, I will find her. Glycerin is injected successively between the nail and the skin of each finger. The substance then enters the fingertip, removing shrinkage and wrinkles.
No dobra.
Now I take a brush. Only when the skin is taut and elastic can you use ink.
Całą dłoń, okej. Smaruj, smaruj.
I think it's enough.
Nie, jeszcze.
I'm getting fingerprint samples. In the case of drowning victims, you have to be extremely careful. The skin may fall off the hand like a glove when you take the print.
Okej. Przyłóż kartkę. Jedziesz.
I'll use the fax machine to add the print into the system.
Tyk. I tyk.
Green button and...
Bingo.
Once the data uploads, I'll run the prints against the police database on the computer.
Okej.
Great. The data is there. Click upload. Now, go through the database and find a matching print. Expect possible hours of fun. One more. Analyze button.
Identyczne są.
And we have a result. Everyone has a story to tell, even if it's just a police record. So, as predicted, the deceased turned out to be Harper Lloyd. That went smoothly. I'll print this out and attach it to the medical records.
Drobna kradzież, zakłócenie porządku, drobna kradzież, zakłócenie porządku, zakłócenie porządku, zakłócenie porządku. Nice. Dobra.
Great. Now we can go back to my inspection.
Fajnie. Udało się ogarnąć.
I'm adding the name of the deceased. I'll start the internal examination by taking fluid from the victim's brain. A needle inserted through the nose will do the trick. If the victim was alive when she fell into the well, she must have swallowed water fighting for her life, and then diatoms, characteristics of pooled water like a well, got into the body.
Okej. Przejąłem.
In the meantime, I'll check the sample under the microscope. I'm sure that these algae traces will be found in the samples taken from the well where police found the body. Now I need to adjust the knobs properly. Oh, the aperture still needs adjustment. I won't even notice an army of diatoms from this. It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid. But oh, I'm finally starting to see something here. Great. Yeah, it's not a dirty. Yeah, it's not a dirty lens. It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid, but rather a bad focus. And perfect. It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid. Yeah, it's not a dirty lens, and perfect.
Naprawdę to jest idealne dla ciebie?
I won't even notice an arm. Great. This way I'll see if I'm dealing with a large concentration. Oh, I'm finally starting to see something here. It's not a dirty lens, I'm afraid. And perfect.
I czego mam szukać?
As expected, we find the aforementioned algae in the solution. Their upper part, epitheca, which overlaps the lower, hypotheca, is clearly visible.
Okej.
The presence of diatoms in the brain samples taken indicate that the deceased was certainly alive when she fell into the water and was possibly conscious.
Okej.
Since there were diatoms in the brain, it means that many more of them must have entered the body. Studies of the rest of the organs will most likely confirm this hypothesis. I can finally get to the practical part. I must be extra careful because the skin of the deceased is very stretched. I wouldn't want an explosion here.
Okej. Coś tu poszło nie tak? A,
You can immediately see a very large swelling of the organs. In addition, all internal organs are very congested. I proceed to remove the rib cage. It's easy to see that the ribs have been imprinted in the lungs. So, I'm going to start. If diatoms were only present in the lungs, this would mean that the victim was placed in the well after death, and the perpetrator wanted to get rid of the corpse in this way. Taking the lungs in my hand, I feel that the tissues have lost their elasticity, which is the result of water emphysema. In addition, there is significant swelling of the organs, and as a result, we have a nice imprint of the ribs. The emphysema itself, it's clear how far it's progressed, which is characteristic of drowning. Corpses found in water are worth examining with a tomograph. However, I can't count on such luxuries, so I must reach for a more archaic technology, a bucket and water.
a składzik jest... Tutaj chyba, nie?
Ooh, I hope no one dipped a mop in it. It's best to go to the lab for this.
Kto co? Kto co? Czerwona farba. Próba hydrostatyczna z wiaderkiem wody. Bomba.
Oh, Jesus.
Okej. Nie wstawaj, trupie, lepiej, okej? Przeprowadzić próbę mogę, ale gdzie postawić wiaderko? A może w laboratorium gdzieś mogę?
Historically, the lung float test is used to detect infanticide. The water should be at room temperature. That's enough. To test for this, I have to place the lungs in a container of water. This checks if there is air in the lungs. And speaking of lungs, everything is ready to bring them here. Of course, such a study isn't without flaws. Air may have entered a newborn's airways during resuscitation attempts. Gases released during decomposition could also... In this case, however, it's about something else. Namely, the amount of fluid in the lungs. To test for this, I have to place the lungs in a container of water and wait to see if they fall or if they will float on the surface. Just as I assumed, the lungs collapsed easily.
Okej.
fluid could have entered the lungs during panic attempts to catch breath underwater, but it could also be the result of bacterial infections or cancer, so further investigation is needed. I move on to dissecting the lungs of the deceased. You can hear the distinct, very unpleasant crackling of the tissues being cut through. The parenchyma is remarkably pale, although small hemorrhagic foci and petechia are present on the surface. All right. Now, I will check the collected fluid under a microscope. If we find 20 diatoms on the slide, it can be considered drowning, and our result is not false positive due to possible contaminations. Let's see. Although I expect I won't even notice an... Oh, I'm finally starting to see something here. It's not a dirty lens, man. Perfect.
Czego szukamy tym razem? Okrzemek znowu. Jak na razie czysto. Zaskakująco. Jak na to, jak wyglądały te płuca, nie? O kurde.
As expected. In solution, the diatoms are clearly visible. There are smaller and larger clusters of them. There will definitely be more than 20 of them. I'll make a note of all this. So far, this case looks pretty standard. It's clear from the beginning that it's drowning. Well, the procedure requires me to check everything anyway. So, I move on to checking the other organs. I ligate the heart, and then strongly developed putrefactic hemolysis of the organ can be seen at first glance. Apart from that, no signs of a heart attack or other heart disease. I move on to the next organ. This time, it's the liver. It's immediately apparent that the deceased didn't care for herself. Like most organs, her liver is enlarged and severely congested. The beginnings of cirrhosis are visible in some areas. I transfer the organ to a board and proceed to dissect.
Jedziesz, Harry Potter, kroisz.
The cross-section clearly shows dilated veins and many small hemorrhagic foci. I must admit that this is quite a feat, considering the rather young age of the deceased. Harper enjoyed drinking so much that she might not have lasted a few more years. I move on to the stomach. I take a sample of the fluid for testing.
Jedziesz.
It looks very turbid. I'll see what happens after spinning. But that's in a moment. My old but trusted centrifuge. Ideal for all the fluid tests I need to perform during an autopsy.
Dokładne badanie organu. Najpierw, okej. Czego wyjąć?
It's enlarged, probably full of putrid gases. I transfer it to the board and carefully open it, checking the contents.
Trudne zadanie mi dali.
One thing you'd never get used to is how much this task smells. Okay, the stomach is full of fluid and unidentified organic matter, which is probably leftover food. So let's check the diatoms. Again. But in a centrifuge for a change. My old but trusted centrifuge. Ideal for all the fluid tests I need to perform during an autopsy.
Notes. W gabinecie. Naprawdę nie mogę go tam zanieść sobie? Że będzie go pod ręką? Zamykaj okno. Dobra. Użyj wirówki. Da się zrobić.
Okay, this is one last little sample. Now set.
Trzydzieści pięć, 25.
Done. I'll run it directly into the chromatograph and run it against the data from the police. I'm certain the analysis will show similarities between the fluid and water in Chelsea's well.
Laboratorium, prawda? Tak jest.
Let me think. 3 milliliters should be fine.
O.
Okay, now it's the chromatograph's turn. Yes. The water sample matches the one provided by the police. Well, the results are quite clear. I was hoping it would be a more interesting case. More diatoms. Analysis indicates the same origin. Blah, blah, blah. There's little left to do. I'm going to... Interesting. Looks like there's something stuck in the trachea. I'm moving to the board for further inspection.
Okej, a co takiego?
I dissect the trachea and open the organ. Based on the size, I can say that it's a woman's wedding ring, quite standard from the outside. There's an engraving inside. What the fuck? But this is my ring! Alice's ring! But how did it... But this should be at home. I have it! At home. It's... I have to check this out. Where are my meds? Where the fuck are my meds?
Fus, takie rękawiczki? Ochyda. Jo.
I've already taken my pills. Not looking to overdose.
Okej. I co teraz? Jest w domu, muszę to sprawdzić. Czyli co, jedziemy? Tak po prostu?
Jesus Christ!
Jeszcze?
Hope these all make it go away.
Okej.
I have to check the apartment. It can't be. Jesus Christ! Mr. Ridley. Jesus Christ!
Ja nie mogę, jego reakcja, nie? Panie Ridley,
I have to check this out.
I trupa tak rozłożonego, jak kartka na święta zastawie, tak?
This can't be real. Where is it? Where is it? Where? It's not here. It's not. I need to go. I need to go. This is sick. Fuck. Come on, Steven. Pick up the fucking phone.
What's up, man?
They took the ring.
What? What ring? What are you talking about?
They took the wedding ring. Alice's wedding ring.
One sec. You mean burglary? You said nothing was missing.
Yes, I know. I know that. I don't know. I was jittery. Maybe I didn't notice. I don't know, but that's not the worst of it.
Calm down, Jack. Breathe. What happened?
I found it in the trachea of the deceased I was working on. Do you understand? I pulled it out of a dead woman's trachea.
What?
I don't know what's going on. You think Red Pete wants revenge? He's playing with me. Huh? I knew it. I knew it from the beginning this was going to happen. I didn't make it up!
Jack, listen to me. Try to calm down. Don't leave the apartment. I'll be with you right away, okay? I'm on my way.
What sane person would do something like that? How? And when? When the fuck? Fucking Ridley lets in whoever he likes as usual. What are you saying? Steven? Don't leave me, man. Come on. Fuck. Oh, God, what now?
Dwa utwory grają naraz.
Okay, just calm down. Jesus. What's going on? Just one sip more. Yep. Jesus.
A to ci niespodzianka, nie?
Just one sip more. Okay.
Rozdział 3.
All right. I can't do it anymore. These reports will kill me one day. I'll have to finish it over the weekend. It's time to go to work. I should take out the trash first. Jesus. Fuck. Maybe I'll just ignore it. Yes?
Hi, this is Charlotte. I guess I interrupted you again?
Oh, hi. No, I just... I wrote reports in those last sections, and I was just about to leave for work.
I always know when to call.
Yeah, definitely. What's up? How are you?
I'm good, thanks. What about you?
Okay, nothing new. I had a few days off.
Oh, that's nice. Then... did you have a moment to look for something for me?
Something for you?
Well, the photo with the photo I asked you for?
It hasn't come yet? Oh, sorry, but I said it a week ago.
No, not yet. Maybe I'm too impatient. I'm sorry for rushing you. You have so much on your mind, I thought maybe you forgot.
It's okay. No worries. With my pills, Pills. I almost forgot to take my pills. So you see,
Yeah.
I have to go now.
Yes, sure.
Let me know if you still haven't received the letter. Then I'll try... well, maybe I'll find something else.
Oh, really? Could you? It would be great if you could. Really?
Yes. I know it means a lot to you.
Well, I won't hold you any longer. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Take care.
Bye.
Damn. Did I mess up the address? How am I gonna get those pills? Maybe I should invite Charlotte to do something herself.
Wynieś śmieci. Czemu one tak leżą? Masakra.
Ugh. Why is it so wet? Ugh. Oh shit. Almost left the door open.
Wtedy zostawiłem? Nie wiem. Wróćmy się do kontenera. Dobra. A gdzie był kontener? Nie pamiętam. A, wiedziałem.
What's going on?
Powiem ignorować takie schizy, nie? Żeby jemu nie siadało na głowę. No. Aha. Okej. Tam ktoś pobiegł.
I wonder if Alice's mother has a film of this photo somewhere. I actually hadn't thought about it before.
Kto powiedział brzydzę się ciebie? What? Co się dzieje? Co to miało być? To było nadzwyczaj dziwne, nie? No dobra, ciekawe czy jak dojedziemy do tego, ta muzyka przestanie grać? Zobaczymy. Jedziesz.
I should call her on Friday.
I dojechaliśmy.
Oh God. Why do I like sleeping so much?
Nie mam pojęcia, ale pogoda jest super, teraz to ma klimat i za dnia pracujemy. Coś nowego. W każdym razie, moi drodzy, kolejny odcinek Autopsy Simulator za nami. Dajcie mi znać, co sądzicie, jak wam się podoba. Myślę, że w 5, może 6 powinniśmy całość zakończyć, więc zostawcie proszę kciuka w górę, jeżeli chcecie je widzieć codziennie, a już teraz powraca Autopsy Simulator, więc od dziś codziennie będzie lądował. Pamiętajcie więc, by wspierać tę serię kciukami w górę. Nie zapomnijcie o subskrypcji dzwoneczku, wtedy żaden film was nie minie ode mnie. W tym odcinku to tyle. Mam nadzieję, że się wam podobało. Pamiętajcie, że moje odcinki powstają dzięki wsparciu patronów z Patronite'a. Link do niego macie na ekranie i poniżej. Moją stronkę, na której są top listy, mojego Instagrama, Facebooka i wszystkie inne fajne miejsca znajdziecie oczywiście w opisie. No i raz jeszcze pamiętajcie o kciuku w górę, bo to nic nie kosztuje, a bardzo, bardzo wspiera kanał. Dzięki za uwagę, moi drodzy, i do miłego usłyszenia.